Trey Murphy was one of the biggest surprises of this year's Summer League, and after his impressive performance, many people think he could end up being one of the biggest stars from this year's draft. So in today's video, we'll talk about Trey Murphy and whether or not he could be the biggest steal from this year's draft class. Let's get right into it. If you have not already, please make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'm uploading videos every single week and your support goes a long way. But anyways, getting into things, Trey Murphy was a guy who was relatively unheard of compared to some of the top prospects in this draft and even compared to some of the guys taken after him. Leading up to the NBA draft, Trey Murphy was not a name that a lot of people were talking about. I'll be the first to admit that before the Summer League, I didn't know a lot about him. I'd seen him play a couple times at Virginia. I thought he was a solid player, but as far as his game goes, I didn't know much about him, and I definitely didn't know what to expect from him as an NBA player. But after him clearly being the star player of the Pelicans Summer League team, and obviously him making the All-Summer League first team, I definitely know who he is now, and I'm sure that the Pelicans are thrilled to have gotten him at the number 17 spot in the draft. When you think about how great Trey Murphy played in Summer League, it has to make you question why he wasn't mentioned in the same breath as some of the other top prospects in this draft, and why not much was known about him before this year's Summer League. So let's take a look at what his college career looked like. Trey Murphy played his freshman and sophomore season at Rice University, proving himself to be a highly efficient shooter with great size and length before transferring to Virginia for his junior season. In his junior season at Virginia, he averaged 11.3 points per game, 3.4 rebounds per game, 1.2 assists per game on 50% shooting from the field and 43% from 3. He was also a 50-40-90 shooter while at Virginia, which is very impressive, especially for a player at the college level. Now obviously none of these stats are going to jump off the page at you. He wasn't putting up ridiculous numbers, but one thing that I think definitely should have been more noticed, especially by NBA scouts and executives, was just how efficient of a shooter he was. 50-40-90 is no easy task. Shooting 50% from the field, over 40% from 3, and 90% or above from the free throw line should prove that you are an NBA level shooter, and with his size and length, I'm definitely very surprised that more NBA scouts, more NBA executives weren't very high on this guy, and somebody didn't draft him higher. I'm 100% positive that after his dominant Summer League performance, at least a few teams who picked before that number 17 spot are wishing they would have pulled the trigger on Trey Murphy. Usually when a player transitions from college to the NBA, you expect them to struggle a little bit at the beginning, you expect their percentages to go down for a little bit, but for Trey Murphy, this was not the case in Summer League. He somehow managed to improve his production while also improving his already ridiculous efficiency. During Summer League, Trey Murphy averaged 16.3 points per game, 7 rebounds per game, 2.8 assists per game on 56% shooting from the field, 44% from 3, and he also shot 100% from the free throw line. That is ridiculous efficiency for a player just coming into the pro ranks. Obviously it's Summer League, obviously it's not as high of a level of basketball as the NBA is, but it is a very good sign for the Pelicans, and I think it's a sign of how good Trey Murphy could be if he develops a little and as he gets used to the NBA. I once again have to emphasize that I don't understand why Trey Murphy wasn't a more talked about prospect coming into this draft. Obviously now people know how good he is, but it should have been pretty clear with his shooting efficiency, with his size and length. At 6'9" with a 7'1" wingspan, he has potential to be an elite 3-and-D player. So like I said, I don't understand why he wasn't more talked about leading up to this year's draft. He has almost no weaknesses. I would say that maybe passing, ball handling, and maybe a little bit of a mid-range game would be his weaknesses, but for a 3-and-D player, he doesn't really need to have that. And for a guy who's only 21 years old, he has plenty of time to develop that if he wants to. He has plenty of time to improve the few weaknesses that he has in his game. A lot of people have fallen in love with the idea of drafting freshmen. He was a 3-year player. He is already 21 years old, but 21 is still very young, and a lot of the freshmen or younger players that teams draft above him are going to need to develop until they're 21. They probably won't even have an impact on the team until they're 21. So like I said, Trey Murphy definitely deserved to be drafted higher, and I think that he could definitely end up being the biggest steal from this year's draft class. When you look at Trey Murphy's size and length combined with his efficient scoring around the rim and from the outside, It looks like a player to me who would fit on any team and any system, whether or not he stays with the Pelicans and becomes a star for them in the future or eventually goes off to another team. He's going to have an impact no matter who he plays with, no matter what coach is coaching him, no matter what system he is in, because of his skill set, because of his versatility, because of all the things he can do, and because of his efficiency. Trey Murphy is going to have a very long and successful career in the NBA. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you think Trey Murphy was the biggest star of this year's draft. Let me know what you think his impact will be in his rookie season, where you think he'll finish in the Rookie of the Year voting. And remember to drop a like and subscribe if you enjoyed. I will see you in the next one.